wise. Everything is totally different if you compare 60 years ago. I don't know you. Were you here 60 years ago?
No, I wasn't.
Oh, okay.
In fact, I'm just celebrating 36 years, which is a message for those of you who can decode it. I'm just 36 years, and over the last years of my life, I've seen a growing country. Our economy is growing, our road networks are growing. I can tell you that our business environment is changing, more investment in Uganda. The tourism sector is growing. We certainly have something to celebrate as a country. Freedom of the press and freedom of the media, it's not what it used to be. It is actually growing. It's work in progress, and certainly we are as a country are on the trajectory. And thank you for actually investing back home. We will talk about investment today because it's the Business Expo and Breakfast. So thank you so much for the remittances back home to build our country. Clap for yourselves. Every year you send money back to your families, back to our economy, and Dr. Maggie will be breaking that down. But hey, simple, isn't it fair to invite Mr. Ronnie Mayanja, who has been the organizer and indeed one of the brains behind this. Mr. Ronnie, Karibu, welcome very much. Can we give Ronnie some love?
Yes.
Yes, this is the first time we're having this in Boston. Our host, Ronnie Mayanja, has organized, and indeed the for a similar event, and we are, of course, waiting for you to come back home in December, right? Please book your tickets in time. We can't wait to have you back home in December. Mr. Ronnie, you're very, very welcome, sir.
Thank you so much. Ladies and gentlemen, a round of applause for these two able gentlemen. Mr. Simpo Sereko Sekonde is one of our community organizers here. He's very able in terms of tukunga and bringing us together. Mr. Sereko, we really appreciate you. I'm getting some reverb or feedback here. Maybe I need to stand here. And then I wanted to appreciate Solomon, who came in all the... Definitely appreciate... I need to change the mic. I'm getting some feedback in this one. I don't know whether it's the mic. Yeah, it's giving me some hissing sound. I just want to get rid of this. Thank you. Thank you. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, my name is Roger. I am a resident of Boston. I've done many things in other places, Uganda inclusive, Canada, Edmonton, and we had a recent event with a Frigo band that I was very proud to have been able to Canada, and it was quite a success. They were supposed to cross over here, but our visa approvals came in a little late, so we might have them probably Thanksgiving. In a couple of weeks. They might be back here in Boston. I just wanted to take this opportunity to recognize in a special way the mayor of the city of Burlington, or the person responsible for that, who has honored our invitation to be here. Thank you so much for coming. He will be able to come and speak shortly. I also recognize our patron, Dr. Maggie Kigozi, who is also the chairperson of Mercury University Foundation. She will be here to talk about a number of things. Many of you went to Mercury University, and it's time to give back. I am a product of Mercury University. Many years ago, I graduated from there. Dr. Maggie will speak on that. So, make sure you interface with Dr. Maggie Kigozi. He's accompanied with his nice, great son, Fred Kigozi. Thank you for making the trip all the way to Boston. I also want to recognize in a special way some of our partners, people who have helped us put some of the things you're going to be seeing this morning into tomorrow together, starting with Mr. Arthur Kiwanuka. Mr. Arthur Kiwanuka is the head of affluent banking in Stanbic Bank. You know, if you need a mortgage, you need something, he's going to be talking about that, and many other things. Their net worth customers who bank with Stanbic. He's the gentleman to talk to. We have Mr. Philip Wabulia, who is the Executive Director, Bank of Uganda, in charge of petroleum, as well as he's here to talk about, you know, people who might have been banking with Bank of Uganda, commercial banks in Uganda, and left their, many years ago, left their accounts dormant. He will tell us how you can be able to access your money. He will also speak to other benefits of bonds and treasury bills, where and how you can be able to utilize some of those resources. We have Mr. Roscoe Nsubuga. Mr. Roscoe Nsubuga is the chairman of Zigoti Coffee. They are trying to make an inroad here in Boston. One of the things I encourage you guys to do is to make sure you celebrate Uganda. And we're drinking coffee. I don't know whether it's from Costa Rica or wherever it might come from. Mr. Roscoe, this is a chance for us to drink Ugandan coffee in Boston. We are very, very big consumers of coffee, especially as the weather transitions into winter. So it would be good to hear what you and your partner have to say as far as that is concerned. So we really appreciate your support and being able to attend this event. I also, in a special way, wanted to recognize Miss Pamela Nakato, who basically is representing Airtel Mobile Money Transfers. Airtel is launching a product where they want you to be able to pay for services. You know, if you want to send money directly, she'll be able to tell you how you can be able to do that and benefit from making sure that the money gets to the intended recipients. Abasasula school fees, abetaga kino na kiri. Pamela will be talking about that. In a special way, we wanted also to talk about career fairs. We happen to have a Ugandan, believe it or not. She's a principal of a high school. Nampera Lujira, thank you so much for coming. She's going to be talking about what are some of the things you as parents should be doing. I mean, as a principal of a chartered school here in Massachusetts, I felt should be a good addition to our program in as far as the commonly made mistakes or what you can do to better prepare your child for Madam Principal, thank you so much for coming, and we appreciate you being here. So to our global audience, I would like to really appreciate everywhere you're tuned in from. This is the first New England Business Expo. We hope to make this annual around Independence. We've been supported by the local community here, multi-professionals. We appreciate you, Mr. Chisembo. Thank you so much for the support you render. He will be able to talk about how you can also be able to get your taxes in order. We have Mr. Derek. Derek is also a tax and financial advisor here in Boston. He's also been able to join us. We have other people that I might forget. Nile Cargo Carrier will also be able to speak later on. If you need to ship anything from here, be it hospital beds or furniture or stuff for your house back in Uganda, we have a leading shipping company that has been around for more than 30 years, led by Mr. Wilson Kadu. He's also going to be joining us shortly to speak to that. With that, I just wanted to let you guys know that please feel at Burlington Marriott. We are here today. We're also going to have a dinner tomorrow where we're going to be recognizing in a special way the leaders that have basically supported us and the incoming executive. So I'm sure Maureen will be joining us later on this stage. Community. This will be happening largely tomorrow, but I'm sure Mr. Simpon Sereko will be introducing some of the leaders we have in the community. With that, with no further ado, I just wanted to invite the mayor, if you might just come right now, before our patron. The city of Burlington has a very interesting structure. They have a rotating mayor kind of arrangement, and that chair right now is held by this gentleman here. I just wanted him to introduce himself. He also had a proclamation of independence. We reached out to them. We asked them to be here because we were in their town of Burlington, and he's going to tell us a little bit of a history about this town. There is a very huge presence of Ugandans that live in Burlington, and then he will make his proclamation. Sir, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Ronnie. I think mayor gives me too much power. I'd be lying if I said I didn't like the way it sounded. But my name is Nick Priest, and I am the current chair of the Burlington Select Board. And so instead of having a mayor, we have a 5-person board that runs the executive branch of government here in town. We also have what's called a representative town meeting. That's our legislative side of government. That's a 126 elected person body that deals with our legislative side. So that's the very 30,000-foot view of how Burlington's government functions. I was honored to receive the invitation, so thank you very much for having me today. Burlington, in very short order, was a farm town for a very, very long time. And it wasn't until the highway came in the 1950s that we experienced an economic boom. People were like, oh, we can get from Boston out to Farmtown and start developing it. And so since then, we have been developing the community around us and trying to make it a welcoming place for everybody. I think that, living in the Northeast, we have a more progressive way of thinking about how we envision community. And I love that, I get to be here leading into the 60th year of independence for Uganda. I think that's wonderful. I was thinking about this. I was reflecting on it, last night and today. I happened to come across a video, and I forget the name of the individual who spoke, but it was a TED Talk. So if you Google TED Talk culture language, you're bound to find it. But this gentleman was speaking on the notion that our culture is intrinsically tied to our language, and that as we advance globally as a species, we begin to find a commonality in our language so that we can all communicate. And the internet has pushed us towards English, for better or for worse, probably for worse, because it's a confusing language. As someone who's a native English speaker, I can say that. And the notion that each of our respective languages hold within it something so specific and unique to our cultures, right? They were developed by us, by our people. And they reflect that very specific need for communication. And it's a beautiful thing that we shouldn't lose. And so it's incredibly important as we think about community to maintain our culture. I come from an Italian family. I wish I could speak Italian. I'm now teaching my children through Duolingo how to speak Italian. My grandparents spoke Italian. And it's something that I feel is lost, right? We're so quick to run towards the easiest path. And we don't take the time to slow down. And I'm finding that now. So my wife and I have 4 children, 2 girls and 2 boys. Our oldest, our firstborn daughter, Penelope, she's going to be 9 this month in a couple weeks. She's taken interest in violin. And I'm like, oh my gosh, she's going to be 9 years old. Where did 9 years go? Right? I've been running so fast, not literally, you can tell, toward trying to maintain a successful life for my family, that I feel like I'm missing things, right? And in a broader spectrum, when we talk about culture and community, these are the things that we need to be focusing on, right? So I love that you are maintaining your culture. I think that it's even more important to not only strengthen that culture and that community, but to share it. In Burlington, that's what we see as a strength, right? And if you live in Burlington, or you've been in town for a while, you might have noticed that the Indian American community celebrates Diwali on the Common. Right? And they have a huge presence in town. And Indian Americans make up almost 30% of the community in Burlington. I knew that we had a Ugandan population, but I had no idea how many folks lived in Burlington. I would love to know that. I need to know that. When I chair my meetings and I look out at an empty room, and I'm just running through my agenda, checking the boxes, voting on something, no one's there. Community. And I want you to share that with community with you. Because you've got a long day ahead of you, and I've got 4 children at home who are probably going to have my wife tied up in a chair somewhere. We have a proclamation that we put together that announces and celebrates to the fun part, because these tend to be long. The town of Burlington does hereby issue this proclamation in celebration of the 60th Uganda Independence Day and encourage residents to take part in the observation of Uganda Independence Day on October 9th, 2022. Signed by the Select Board of Burlington, Massachusetts. This is for you. Thank you all very much for inviting me. Have a wonderful weekend and a wonderful 60th Independence Day. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. We appreciate your time. Thank you so much. Solomon, I don't know what you have on the agenda, but definitely, if you've just joined us, my name is Ronnie. I'm here as one of the people helping support the team led by Mr. Solomon Seranja, veteran journalist, our BBC Komla Dumla winner for the year 2019. Ladies and gentlemen, why don't you give this young man I've had a chance to work with and also mentor and also see him grow into something bigger than life. Congratulations on that award, by the way. How is the weather treating you in Boston so far? You know, in Boston, as we
Really, sometimes you get me grow wings, and I keep telling myself, please, God, keep me leveled. Clip them every time they grow.
So take it away, but there are a couple of housekeeping concerns. Ladies and gentlemen, if you've not had any coffee, please make sure you do that. We also have the national ID registration going on outside. If you happen to have registered for your ID in the diaspora, they are here for pickup. Many times people are told they are sold air. So in this case, the embassy in New York brought all these IDs and they're right out there. Be sure to and also to register for a new one. Otherwise, our program is going to run as Mr. Solomon will be telling you, and he will be joined by Mr. Simple Sereko of Simple Communications. So thank you.
Mr. Ronnie Mayanja, a round of applause, guys. Ronnie, thank you for always bringing us together. How many of us know that it takes quite a time, emotions, money to organize these events? You know, a simple birthday can literally make you run crazy. Imagine organizing these events annually. It can take a life out of you. So let's appreciate Mr. Ronnie Mayanja once again. Thank you very much. Without any further ado, I want to welcome our patron, Mama Maggie Chigozi. She wears so many hats, but for this, let me call you Mama. Can we celebrate Mama Maggie Chigozi? Mama, you're very, very welcome. Mama is a member of the diaspora. She is back home doing great things, investing and encouraging investors and investing and loving Uganda. Mama, you're very welcome. Karibu tena.
Thank you, Ronnie. Thank you. Good morning, everyone, and happy Independence Day tomorrow. Let us celebrate our beautiful country. There's no one who represents our country as an individual. It is our country, it belongs to all of us, and we are happy to celebrate it. I recognize our representatives from the various organizations, as Ronnie has introduced you. We have representatives from our embassy, representatives from business, government, central bank, and the bank. So you are welcome, and thank you for coming here. But most importantly, we have people who live here. That's why we are here, to meet with you, and you are very, very welcome. Waffe tuli ku BBS Tervaina, abatulaba ku television yaffe ey'obwajjajja, tusanyusa okubeerako nammwe. Nga tuli wano mulabe nammwe bannammwe ababeera eno, mugezeeko okubategeera, boogereko nammwe mujja kubawulira nga naffe bwe tubabuulira ebiri eka. So I welcome you to Boston, the ones who have come from Uganda, and I have to thank God really for having got us through COVID-19. We had a very rough time. You had a very rough time on this side. But I think we are none of us wearing masks here. and none of us in Uganda are wearing masks, really. So we hope we've come over that, a combination of being careful, vaccination, and just be sensible. And we are where we are right now, thank God. Lockdown was not easy. Were you in lockdown here in Boston? Oh, really? Being in the house for hours was really hard. So you are here, you live here. America is a top investor in Uganda. We have a large number of projects. Some of them are franchises like mine, Coca-Cola, Pepsi-Cola. We sometimes are looked at as American, but the owners are Ugandans. So we have those types of companies as well, quite a large number of them. We have our Asian community that came here in the 70s, and then many of them did come back. And then we have you. We don't want to look at you as Americans. You are Ugandans, but you do come back and set up and do whatever, gets jobs or set up. And so we're really happy that that happens. I think you all know how beautiful Uganda is, but sometimes the Ugandans, and I'd better say this in Uganda, the Ugandans take Uganda for granted. Tetumanya weather yaffe, tewali nsi ndala efaanana yaffe. Empewo eri wano, olaba amakooti ge twesabise. Twesabisa amakooti mwe muli eyo mweyagala. 26 degrees buli lunaku. Myezi 12 bannange. Temumanyi birungi bye muyina. Enkuba etonnya. Okay, tuyina rainy season. Naye ne bwe teba rainy season, enkuba etonnya. Amazzi tuyina mayitirivu. Lake Victoria munene nnyo yenna ali waffe. Over 40% ali waffe. Eriyoko Tanzania. N'abana Kenya balina kaakatono naye nga ekisinga obunene kyaffe. River Nile wetandikira waffe. Egamba ffe Katonda yatwagala n'atuwa ebibira, n'atuwa ebinyonyi, n'atuwa ebisolo, n'atusobozesa okulima ffe okuva edda bajjajjange ze baali balimi, era ne kaakati nange ndi mulimi. Naye batusobozesa okulima olw'ebyo advantages ezo nga tutawaanye nnyo ng'abalala ab'ensi endala. Bw'ayagala okulima winter bw'ejja ate n'abugumya, ate desert n'ebeeraawo, amazzi gali luddawa. Tebitukwatako ffe nga Uganda. Ekisinga obukulu kye tuyina, kye mwerabira, ye muntu gwe bayita Munnayuganda. Banange ojja n'akubuuzaako takumanyi. Maama oli otya? Oba namuzaala ddi? Serwanja mumuwulidde ampise maama. Tabani wange ye waali. Serwanja ampita maama. And Abannayuganda about 40% buli gwe nsanga ampita maama. Olw'okuba nina abazzukulu kati n'erya jjajja lyange. Yes. Naye n'otambula mu kkubo nga buli muntu akubuuza. That is only Uganda. That's only Uganda. They want to know how I am. You want to know how they are. Twesiimye nnyo naye oluusi tukyerabira ekyo. N'ojjukira pothole yokka oba amasannyalaze agaavuddeko naye ne weerabira basics ffe ze twafuna. Katonda yatwagala nnyo. So for those of you who don't speak Luganda, very briefly, I just took them through the beauty that is Uganda, the climate, the greenness, the fauna, the wildlife, and most importantly, our people. Various tribes. We don't speak the same language. We may not understand one another, but we can communicate. We will greet one another. And, we find it very strange here that I walk past somebody and I don't say good morning, because they would be shocked if I started saying good morning to them. It's not in their culture. So that is so Ugandan. And we sometimes don't recognize the advantages that our country has. Now, when it comes with that, the diaspora yourselves, Why are we here? We are here because you are very important. You are very important. You are Ugandans, first and foremost. Yes, you're probably Americans as well, and that is fine. When I first came to Boston, again with UNA, Uganda North America Association, and I met the Ugandans who were living here. I came from Uganda, where you were called Basama, you were called Bankubacheyo, none of which is very fantastic, is it? Kubacheyo really means you sweep, is it? So when I came here and I met the people that I met here, people like the ones in this room, you know, they were teachers, they were educationists, they were doctors, they were, you know, Ugandans like we all are. They went to university, they, you know, and that's when we went back to Uganda and told them, you know what? That is a very, very important component of our population that we need to take more seriously. And so we began to do that, and we have come a long way. We really have. We brought the president. People came to see for themselves and whether to believe us or not. And so we are still here, still talking to you. The contribution that you make, first of all, through remittances. Yes, they reduced a little bit during COVID. We all lost jobs. Ugandans lost jobs. You probably lost jobs. So they did reduce a little bit, but they are picking up again. They are picking up again. And the Bank of Uganda is here. I'm sure they can tell you more about that. There was a decrease, and then we've picked up again, but not back to the older levels, which we hope we shall get back to very soon. But as far as remittances are concerned, USA is a top supplier of remittances. Yes. Can we clap for ourselves here, those of us who live this side? You are still the top source of remittances, followed by United Arab Emirates, Saudi Arabia, and Switzerland, strangely enough. Switzerland, I'm not too sure how many. I guess there are many Ugandans there in Switzerland, but yes. The cost of transfers remained high, relatively high. It has come down, oh my God, since the days of Western Union. Do you remember, Ronnie, when that was your biggest complaint, Western Union? You know that they used to beg me to take money to their relatives. They don't even know me. I mean, it's like we've met here today. Give me $1,000, please. Give it to Mr. So-and-so over there. And I would be challenged how to take it through Entebbe Airport. But yes, I did. And so that was how dangerous it was. The money you were sending. You really don't know me. I can disappear. But, you know, we've come a long way. And today we have Airtel here to tell you more about this particular product. But even us in Uganda now, things have changed. We have e-banking, we have mobile banking, we have it all. We have cards, we have everything. So much progress has been made. It's not so difficult to fund your... I was just telling Roscoe here, when he started working a project with Post Bank, and they started having cards. What a relief it was. My relatives were in Masaka. They would jump on a taxi to come to fetch school fees, already spending like 10% of the school fees coming. So, you know, once the cards appeared, my life was so much easier. For us as farmers, as business people, the financial sector is really in our favor now. So what did we talk to you about? We talked to you about your relatives. Yes, you send them school fees, you send them money for food, you send them all kinds of, just for health and other things. But the drainage on you, you know, you have your salary, you should be using it for your family, and here you are every month or every few weeks having to send money to us, to your relatives back home. So the UIA prepared a number of projects, which we shared with you, and they are on the website. Small projects that maybe your mother can do instead of you having to send her money every month. So those projects are still there if you want to look at them. They are on the Uganda Investment Authority website. over 500 projects. They've really done them in detail. So you can look at that and stop having to send money all the time and do something more sustainable. Then what about yourselves? Are you staying here forever? That is an option. Have you become an American and you're going to retire in those old people's homes? The thought of them makes me I have relatives, I have Vazukulu, I have people back home. I can't imagine being in an old people's home, but if that's your option, that is fine, and you prepare for it. Otherwise, how are you preparing to come home? How are you people thinking of coming home? And I think you should think, if you haven't thought about it, you should think of coming home and not stay here and be lonely and be washed by, we have all kinds of extended family around us that would help to look after you in your old age. So we looked at investment. What can you do? And this is, I guess, let's touch on the retirement. Retirement. If you're going to retire back home, what should you be doing? First of all, if you have a job here and you will have a pension, is to make sure. We've had our relatives come home without a bank account in Uganda, having just left here because they said, I'm going home. And, not done the processes, whatever it is, you find them out on your side. I don't know what they are. But how is that money coming to you in Uganda? First thing you must have is a bank account. So if you don't have one in Uganda, you need to open one. Yeah, and you need your ID. So I'm glad the embassy is here with us to help you actually get your national ID if you haven't already got an account. If you already got an account, they will still need to see your ID, even if you opened it years ago. The ID is now the document that you need. I don't think I should worry about the ID. Nobody is really interested in following you around. We love the fact that you are here. You're sending us lots of remittances. Government has no problem with you. They are actually very happy with you because you send us a lot of money. And that is very useful in the form of dollars, that is very useful. So you should not worry about national ID being a document to I don't know what it's supposed to do, to be able to follow you around. So government is here, and they really would like to hear from you. So what I'm saying is what I had, but you are the ones to tell us what it is that you want us to do. The Uganda private sector is here too, represented by a number of us, to tell you how we do business in Uganda. Is it terribly difficult? Can you be profitable? And we want to say yes. Airtel will tell you they've grown leaps and bounds. Stanbic, seriously, the biggest bank in Uganda is huge and doing very, very well. So, Pepsi Cola, we have when you're going home on the highway, look at our new factory, just down there on Entebbe Highway. We are doing okay. So you can do business in Uganda and you can succeed. I think that's the message that you get from the private sector is here. So where are the opportunities? What would we want you to look at? While you're still here, can you trade with us? Can you import things? Can you look for other people, support us to get markets from here? You are highly educated. The things you do here back home are equally required. Are you a teacher? We heard of the headmistress. That's of great interest because we need our education sector to benefit from the experiences of what you do here, the different things. Tourism. Many Ugandans have set up incredible places, incredible, lodges, smaller ones, bigger ones. The tourism industry was growing really, really well. affected by COVID, but it's picking up again. It's picking up again. So what can you do in the tourism industry? Education, 60% of education in Uganda is private. Government provides UPE, USE, but the parents who have money prefer to go to the private schools. So that's another opportunity, but at all levels. Nursery schools, crashes for the mothers who work, secondary schools, vocational universities. We have 64 universities. Did you know that? We have 64 universities in Uganda. And why are they there? They are making money. They are making money. The government ones are only about 6 or 7. The rest are private. We are looking at finance, of course, the traditional banks and others, but, SACCOs, and there are various options. Fintechs, there are fintechs in the country. ICT, you people here have been very high-tech, especially the young people like Tendo there, I'm sure. This is a sector with huge opportunities, and Uganda prioritized it. So we have the internet. We have, everywhere it is there, and we have tried to link you, and we have tried to educate people. The Department of ICT in all the universities is huge. Yeah? So our young people are actually very smart in this area. Then we have the creative industry. Yesterday we watched Woman King, a movie, just here in the cinema. It's called Woman King. And Freddie, the young lady, was a team who? Sheila Tim. Go and watch it. She's fantastic. She's a Ugandan. And, just sitting there feeling very proud that I know we have a few others. Kaluya and who else? We have a few others, but, this is a huge movie. And there she was, really being huge. She's a Ugandan. So the creative industry, the music industry. Have you heard of Navio? How can I start talking about the industry without talking about Navio? At least as somebody we can both relate to, who gave us a shock as a family. There we were, a doctor, the father is an engineer. Our children do that kind of thing. No, I want to be a musician. Okay, he is a musician, he's doing well, no complaints. So that is a sector that's really booming in Uganda. If you saw post-COVID, all the shows are, the cricket pitch, that huge cricket pitch is always full to the brim. Famaika, Ashiba, I don't know who else. They are all there. So the creative industry, film, music, TV, radio is doing well. Have you got land? Question. Have you guys got land? Who hasn't got land? Maybe let's have that. I'm sure you have access to some land somewhere. Our inheritance, the way we inherit, generally we all have a piece of land. So what's it doing? Are you going to go back and fight with squatters? Do something. Do something with it. The simplest thing, the easiest thing that you do when you're busy, plant some trees. Then you can wait for them to grow. They take a long time to grow. But when they do grow, you make some money. That's one. Is that me? Sounds like me. Yeah. So land, use it, and for agriculture. Livestock, crops. What do? I have a farm. We have a farm. That's my son, Freddie. And we have chicken. We have coffee. We have mangoes. We have trees, of course. We planted trees while we were still too busy to pay attention to the farm. But now we can pay attention to the farm. And, bees, very easy. Very easy for you to rear bees and produce honey. But of course, you are far away. So for those of you who are far away, unless you have a way of managing that, you need to look at those crops that really don't need too much attention. Nowadays, oil and gas is coming up. And there are opportunities even for the small. I think we have somebody from oil. Yes, we do, from the Bank of Uganda. There are opportunities for small and medium enterprises as well. Apart from the huge Total and Snook, there are opportunities. They're putting an industrial park right next, it's already halfway up, right next to the oil. extraction area, and there are opportunities in tarmac, in cosmetics, in gas, so many things that you can make associated. But also, the people who work there need hotels, they need restaurants, they need supermarkets. So there are opportunities around the new oil and gas sector that we have now. So where do you go if you need help? I don't work at the UIA anymore. That's where I used to be, and that's where I started this journey. But the Uganda Investment Authority is stronger than ever. It is there. It is there. So look for them. They will help you to register your company. They have a one-stop center. They'll give you information. They'll link you to everything that you need. Yeah? And I'm sure Ronnie there can also be very helpful. He's also been doing this with us for a very long time. You have children. Yeah, I know you have children. What opportunities are there for the young people here that will help us take them when they go back? We really need we need scientists, we need geology, for example, architects. There are sectors that we really need back home, and you people have the best education in the world, we hear. So let us have your children not come back with, come back with something that is relevant for growing our economy. Yes, who went to Makerere apart from Ronnie and I? There you are, Solomon. Okay, we have quite a few people here who went to Makerere, and I'm sure others are not here. Bananga ba BBS ani yasomere Makerere je muli ndowooza. Abe Makerere bampadde omulimu ne bampa omulimu ogw'okuchairinga Makerere Endowment Fund. So I chair the Makerere Endowment Fund, which is a fund like all other universities. They have funds. They have these funds where they raise funds that they can be used to support the university. And our fund is supervised by the council. We are put in place by the council. I have a strong board of senior people in Uganda who will actually look after your money well. So what do we want? The first thing we need from you is please write down endowment. Look for this site, endowment.mac.ac.ug. Look for that site. Fill in the alumni form. We need to know where you are. We have a good idea about who went to Makerere, but where they went after that, what their address is, we don't know. Because we had that very old, we probably had your parents' address when you were still there. It's no longer yours. So we need to know where you are. Please fill that in. And then after that, we want to stay in touch with you. We want to send you information on what's happening to Makerere. And also, we want you to help us raise funds for Makerere. Now, why do we want that? Why? I've been asked that question so many times. The children pay school fees. The students. Why don't you use that? It's not enough. A survey that was done of Makerere when they were trying to decide what the fees should be suggested like 10 million per year per student. Now, we need to be fair to our communities, to our people. It's not only the rich ones that will go to university. So we actually charge much less, about 1 million Uganda shillings a term. For those in private, then government pays for the others, a few of the others, very few of the others, like 2,000. Whereas, we have very many more than that. So the rest pay much, much less than what we need. So important things like infrastructure, the water, the sewage, the repairing the buildings are not done because of that. We have major successes. This year actually, they graduated about a month or two ago. We graduated 13,000 Ugandans. And we have a clap. We graduated 13,000. Are they comfortable? And the answer is really no. They are not. We can do better. So my request is, please register. First of all, register. Try out our new system, because it's very new. The Mark Advance system, the contact I've just given you, is very, very new. It's about 2 months old. So put in your contact, donate a small amount, start with. See if you get the response. I'm sure you will, because we are getting the response saying, I have received this. Then after that, you can think whether you want to donate to because Mercury gave us a lot. I would not be standing in front of you if I didn't get to that ivory tower today. I would not have got a job when I was sort of a refugee running to Zambia during Amin's time. Again, I was a refugee running to Kenya during Obote II. And I immediately walked into the Ministry of Health with my certificate, and I got a job, straight. No questions asked. They just looked at that and told me where to go and work. That's how our university degree was able to do that for us. So really, we want the young ones who are there today, your children, your grandchildren, to find it the same way that we found it when we were very, very few. Now the numbers are huge. You know, everybody goes for UPE, USE, and of course the next stage is university. So the numbers are huge. And we shouldn't appear to be the ones stopping education in our country because of money. So we need your support and everybody's support. We will fundraise in other ways. We have a shop. Buy some of our beautiful Mercury University gear from, the shop. It's online as well. You can get a hoodie, you can get a badge, you can get T-shirt, whatever it is that you want. So that is the endowment fund. And you just press donate. Send us $1. Send us $1. Use your card. Or if you're in Uganda, and now that Uganda Airtel is here, maybe she'll tell us we can actually use the Airtel mobile money. In Uganda, we use mobile money, no problem. But I didn't know we could use it from here. I'm also hearing it today, which is great. And then check it out, all right? Then after that, let us support our university so that others can also benefit from it. Okay, so I think I've talked way too much, Ronnie. I better stop now. And I hope you are looking to coming home eventually. You are here, you're comfortable, and that's great. But your family misses you back home. We need you to come back home. So do come back. And what you will need to be able to do right when you're still here is look at a house. You must have a house when you're coming home. Isn't that true? Yes, and there are lots of people. I'm sure Ronnie brings a lot of people here to talk about that. So I thank you very much for listening to me. Thank you, Solomon.
A round of applause to Mama. Mama Maggie, thank you very much for pouring your heart out. Thank you. Let's love on her again. Thank you very much. I listened to her pitching to you to invest back home. I was like, wow. Please come back home and invest. And come home. We miss you as well, right? I was talking to one of my friends and I was telling them to come home. He's like, hey, but Solo, will my lungs handle the dust of Kampala? I'm like, my brother, we are still alive. We are still there. But won't I get Ebola? I'm like, I don't have Ebola. This is still your country. So, yes, we might have our issues, but it's our home. And it's important that we can go back and invest. He was actually telling me, I'm actually thinking of getting my kids and family to come. I'm like, maybe you should think otherwise. Maybe you should come home. Work, but come back home. We really miss you. Mama, thank you for making that decision years ago. And Mama Maggie doesn't want to boast about herself. She's the co-founder of Pepsi. She has a big farm. She's a big name. She's invested. She's employing, Mama, how many people? Think about that. She's employing about 620 people. Yes. Now, that's quite a big number, and I think that you can make that decision she made years ago to come back home and invest, and we grow our economy together, right? And this is why we're here today, to look at the different investments opportunities. We have the team from Bank of Uganda that is going to talk to us about investing in treasury bills and bonds. We have a team from the real estate sector who is going to talk about investing in the real estate sector. We have people from Airtel who are going to be telling us a new product which is sending money at your convenience, at your phone. So it's just interesting. And for Mercury, I am one of those people, Mama. I did my bachelor's at Mercury, I did my postgraduate at Mercury, I did my master's at Mercury. I'm also going to do my PhD at Mercury. So it's only fair for me to also be part of the endowment fund, because I'm a proud Mercurian. All right, let's also, today we're super excited to tell you about the NERA program, dual citizenship, national IDs. Many of you are here and you've been asking yourself, how do I get a national ID? They are actually saying that the IDs are going to be expiring. So what do you need to get your national ID? There's a team from NERA that is here, just outside the auditorium, and there's a couple of forms to fill, but I'm going to ask Simple. Simple, where are you at? Simple, who stays here, he's also going through the process of applying for a national ID and dual citizenship. Simple, you're very welcome to tell us. I asked him to come and break it down for us, to talk about what do we need for you to get your ID or dual citizenship. He's not from Ministry of Internal Affairs. He's just here. Karibu.
Thank you, sir. For those of you who have just joined us, once again, we welcome you as we celebrate the 60 years of Ugandan independence. Happy independence. I know Mama was here. She said that the only person who calls her Mama is Ronnie Mayanja and Solomon. From today onwards, Mama tukusanyukidde, nange nkuja kuyitanga Mama and the rest. Those online, thank you for watching. BBS Telefina, munzikirize nange mbuze ku bantu b'Namayiba batekukuba bandaba live and clear. Mama wange nalongo sekonde ku alyandaba. Thank you for watching and the rest. Now, Mama, as you said, as we celebrate Ugandan independence, we have a lot of challenges, most especially these days when it comes to land issues, settling land issues, buying land. You need Ndagamuntu. That's the identity card. That's one. Then when it comes to traveling, now you know the passports, the Ugandan passports are being phased. So we are going to the East African passports. So you can go out, you can go back to Uganda with the Ugandan passport, but you can't come back without the East African passports. So we are lucky as we celebrate the 60 years that Mr. Ronnie Mayanja thought it very clearly. Until these people, we need services, their services. As you know, it has been very, very tiresome, expensive, and at times we fail even to get the time to go to the embassy. Or no call appointment, or no kujako time, or spending a cent. So we thank you, Ronnie, for thinking about us, not letting these services, door-to-door services at their independence. So, why tetumukubira ku mungalo? Yes, temutadde mu sente, temuvuze, temukolinze. Why not? Thank you, Ron. Keep it up. Now, national IDs. Tunabanafe from the embassy, baliwa abweru wali. These are the requirements ziwetaga for the national ID. It's a must. Any transaction in Uganda, you have to be with the national ID. In the past, we used to have the passports. Now, national ID no nkulu nnyo kuba ekulaga wajova ku kyalo, where you come from, our village, and to make sure that these people, they know you, the LCs and all other stakeholders into that system. So, one, if you have to have a national ID, you have to be with a copy of a national ID of both or either abazaddebo. Bamama bamwe batata bamwe babanga gye bali Uganda babaweereze endagamuntu kopi bagikuba ekifaananyi bagibaweereze wano mujjagiraga wali basobole bibakolerako. Then also a birth certificate. Nkakasa, all of you have birth certificates. I know some of you say they are zabula, zakwa, zakola zitia, but at least NERA ekola certificates, you know. So you have to go through the normal channels, no funa birth certificate. bw'oba olina enkadde n'enkadde bakyazitwala ffe abaali mu nkadde za I think most of you have those signed by Cox Juco Cox mukyazijjukira empanvu ennyo bwe ziti I think kati abapya bafuna ndala naye those for us ababaddewo for some good time we still have them so I think basobola okukitwala then that's the ndagamuntu Ugandan passport for citizens by birth in Uganda osobola okulagayo your passport bw'obanga wazaalibwa Uganda n'ofuna endagamuntu also additional requirements for dual citizen. Now, dual citizen, most of you abamu mutya, abamu mugamba kino kiri. No. For me, it has worked for me. I saved the $50 then sasula entebe wali for the visa. So ndagayo bulazi passport yange Uganda nenkola ki nenyingira Uganda. Ate once you get the dual citizen, when you reach Uganda, bajja kuteka mu system, you are, for the first time nga ofunye dual citizen, you have to go with that little certificate they give you. Kwaba kwenorolinga no yingira. So the second time you just kulaga bulazi wali passport yo ngo yingira. Last year I think nalagayo America nga oh you have dual citizen. Okay. Ni nyingira. Ngate bankoneddamu. So no kufuluma biba byangu nnyo. So tebabatiisa tebakola ki dual citizenship jeri eyamba you save money and you're regarded as a Ugandan. So going back home. So to apply for dual citizenship, you go to www.visaimmigration.go.ug. It's online. Right now and right today, we are not doing that over there. So you go online, as I said, on that website. Then you start a new application and you select citizenship in the drop-down menu under visa or permit. Actually, we have all these papers. Information in wali. We have a lot of information here. Yesobola kusoma line by line. Olwobudde. So mbasaba from here obanja kufuna empapula ezo nzijenga nzibagabira for those of you who are interested. Also the passports, as I said that they are phasing away the Ugandan passports. For those of you who have their only passports, Gamba Ugandan passport, right now we have the East African passports. Eza blue zeziriwo ku mulembe guno kati. Ziri enkadde zo zigenze. Nenga newebanga ya expiring many years ago. Still you can renew it. Don't you worry, even if you came here in 70s, we can renew that passport. So you just go over there, that information. Also, you can, actually passports are renewable on online. It's www.passports.go.ug. I know I'm rushing. Nainga, we have these papers. Applying. There are like 5 steps. Apply online. Once online application and payments are complete. Now, Abamutia. When you put in your information, then it comes to that segment, Gamba pay. Osasula mu banka ze Uganda, oba mu Uganda Revenue Authority. So some people batya kadi yange bajaji hakinga, sente za bajazi, no. Tekiri yecho. So once that window comes, we sasula mu Ugandan banks, oba mu Revenue Authority, bangamba if you pay with URA, biangua, kuba ekudirectinga right away to the embassy, nokola appointment, okugenda okufuna okujjako biometrics zo. So it's very easy that way. Residence ID or driving license is a requirement. Copy of the recommender's national ID, letters of consent of children below 18 years by one of the parents. Mwana wabanga ali below 18 abietaga. Also, for those of you who are like you don't have a dual citizen, you're an American or you're a Canadian or someone onokufuna visa ngogende Uganda. As you know, many people have been turned away at the airport. Ogenda Uganda or tolina visa. You have to get a visa before kugenda ku airport. Visa taking knows about you give it a week to be on the safe side. Give it a week. Please, many people have been calling me kubira embassy banyambe. Embassy sabe batibasobola kuyamba. Era airline wali when you check in bakubuliza out, do you have a visa? Or you are not dual citizen. But not dual citizen, they will let you go. So you need a visa to go to Uganda. But not dual citizen. So you also apply for the visa on www.visas.immigration.go.ug. And then you start the new application and select visas in the drop menu. So instructions on Akweziti. Please, Susan tugenda mu yakutambula, make sure you don't forget. 2 weeks ago, I had a case. Mama applied for the visa, ninga atabana tabasabidde. Na they are traveling. Bali no balika. Then finally ne begaidira, ne bagamba since the kids, let them go. Ne ate batu to Amsterdam, they had the same case. Ne finally they reached. So make sure you have all those. The visa is a must. Passport. So let us use this time. Let us use this chance. Let us appreciate Ron Mayanja. Let us celebrate the 6 years. Nga tetusave, I mean, tetutadde mu sente kugenda Washington, kugenda New York. Abantu abali wali mu corner. Let us use them. They will answer all your questions. Ebisinga banabasibi answerinze bino. Empapula abazaagala ngenda kubanga nzibaleetera. So thank you very much. Mwebale kumpuliriza. But before I get off the stage, tulina banaffe aba Nairo Kago. Nairo Kago woli mukulu ono akoze emirimu mingi nnyo, aweereza ebintu. Mama talked about sending things, remittance. Naye Nairo Kago, come here for a quick question. I mean, obuze ku bantu dakika emu yokka. Mukulu ono mukubireko mu ngalo.
Sebo tukwaniriza.
Yes. Mukulu Solomon omukulu ono atukwatiridde mu bintu bya Kago.
Sebo.
Era bw'onna kyagala okutwala. I think he has been here for over how many years? Mweka microphone.
Era sebo nzo agenda okudduka ewuwo.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Sabamanya.
Yes, my name is Wilson Kado, CEO of Now Cargo Carrier. We are based in Boston, but we operate across the United States. I've been in this business in the US over 25 years. So I have a lot of experience in shipping business.
So if you round off to Ugandan independence is halfway, like 30 years, right?
Yeah, kind of. I started in 1997.
Okay.
But I worked with different companies before Nile Cargo was opened in 2004. So I worked with Quick International Carrier, DHL, before I opened Nile Cargo.
All right.
Yeah.
So tell us, ebintu wetubirita nina kesi yange nina omugugu gwange ngukusanzaawa.
To based North Chelmsford, Massachusetts, which is very close to borderline with Lowell. But again, we offer pickup services in most parts of the United States. Okay. So it doesn't have to be anything from Boston. It can be anywhere from California, Chicago, in another part of the United States. So
at times I know we need a special packaging. Do you do the packaging or I do the packaging?
We do the packaging from Massachusetts, but anything out of state, go take a packing. But we can move any pounds, anything from 20 pounds or above. Yeah, things that you're moving, even less than that. So, and most of our business now is coming from Uganda, not from Ugandans in America.
So from Uganda to US?
No. People in Uganda, they can easily import anything from US. Amazon, Best Buy, they use our address as their address. They use our US address. And they will buy something from Amazon, ship it to our warehouse.
Okay. Let's talk about the time from US to Uganda. How long does it take?
It's very challenging now after COVID. We ship out like every week, or for air cargo every week or every other week. A package can take 2 to 3 weeks sometimes.
That's air?
That's air. Ocean freight, 3 months.
3 months?
Yeah, okay. Even sometimes more.
Now, do you tell your customers that it's going to take 3 months or 2 weeks or?
We give them estimated time of arrival, but we don't guarantee on that, the way things are moving now.
Okay.
Yeah.
So basically like 3 months.
3 months.
Do we have a peak season that the wine Jaguars January, Jaguars December?
No, usually people ship every time, whenever you're ready.
Okay. Yeah. Let's talk about the clearing. Do I have to pay the revenue or you pay the revenue on the charges on salary?
When it comes to revenue, I think Dr. Maggie can answer that. I won't mention anything, but we give an estimate, not 100%.
We just estimate.
Yes. Oh, okay, yeah. Yes, we give you an estimate. How much is going to cost you? Estimate.
Just estimate.
Just estimate. But
okay.
Yeah.
All right. What do you say you aka Nairo Cargo?
No, I'll just thank Mr. Mayanja for organizing this convention. And thanking all Uganda, people who have come from Uganda to come here, and Dr. Maggie to be out with us here. Yeah.
Do you ship from Uganda to US?
We can do it, but it's very challenging because we don't have a lot of market to come here. Mm-hmm. There's no traffic, and people who want to ship from Uganda, they want to bring food, which I don't want to get involved with food.
Okay.
You know, food or medication, and when you get to that, you have to go through FDA, customs. Yes, sir.
Akataleke kakamukoka. Mu kesi yange nasibiramu essuuka
That's very rare. Nayo challenge jetufuna olala. The consignees singa omuntu wabijjayo Uganda n'abijja ku office yaffe n'abitwala Namayuba. Between Kampala and Namayuba, anything can happen.
Thank you very much. You have a question for him, okay?
I just have a question. Kati ebintu bituuka omusolo gusasuddwa nti nguze 75 inch yange ngireeseewo ngisanga ku dduuka oba zinyina osasula n'omusolo?
Sobola okusasula omusolo tukuwa estimate oyinza okusasulira wano oba oyinza okusasulira e Kampala. We offer door delivery. Tubitwala wonna oba oyagala lwakitula tubituusaayo.
Okay. Yeah. Naye ng'omusolo ogusasulidde wano. So
you don't have
ku shipping costs wano
I can add it on.
Factoringiramu omusolo.
Yeah, but separately. Because no one will tell the truth that these stuff are worthy $800. Oyinza okuleeta ebizigo byonna, nice creams okuva mu Victoria's Secret, £80, and say, oh, it's only 250. You know, you understand what I'm saying? So not everyone can declare the true value.
No, nkitegedde kuba ensonga lwaki mbadde nkubuuza nti omuntu waba aguze consignment ye okugeza nga ku Amazon nejja ku ewuwo kati price gy'asasula gw'omuwa price nga buli kimu kiwedde n'omugamba sasula $800 and we will deliver at your doorstep. So tadda kudda tebya clearing yati.
Yes, we do clear 90% of our stuff.
Oh, okay.
We do clear them from customs.
Okay.
But you have a choice that you can either clear it yourself or you have an agent to clear. We give you that option. But 90% we clear it.
Okay.
All right. But we can add on customs, but bracket estimated customs.
Okay.
That charge it. Sometimes they are perfect. Sometimes they can go a little bit more. Yeah. But we can do that. Even we include delivery service. But the delivery depends where it's going. Is it going to Jinja?
Or Zigoti?
Or Zigoti? Yeah. So that will depend.
Okay.
Yeah.
Bane obugalo tweyanza nnyo sebo tweyanzeege. Sebo tweyanziza. Kozi mumuwulidde abatulaba oyinza okuba toli wano Boston naye oyinza okuba oli New York City, oli Washington, oli New Jersey, oli California, LA, Morris Ochoa ali LA, oba olina ebintu by'otwala Nile Cargo. Sebo tweyanze weba nateekamu ssente ku mukolo guno omukulu baneetuddemu tumukubira obugalo. Abad is one of our prime sponsors today. Thank you very much. Sebo simple ndoza nawe waliwo byotwala Uganda
bingi nnyo.
Kale mbadde njagala twanirize mukyala Pamela Nakityo era ng'ono yakulira Alternative Deposits Airtel Money Uganda. Ajja tubuulire waliwo bane tumwagaleko abana Uganda
tukule ku ngalo
ajje atubuulire ku nsonga za Airtel Money nti oyinza okubeera awo nga tonneebaka n'oweereza akasente. Edda nno nalina mama wange abaabeeranga eno agamba akuweereza kanamba bane bwakanamba mubijjukira kanamba nyogera waliwo edduuka ku Uganda House we twagendanga awo n'oteekayo akanamba akasente n'okafuna bane ebintu byakyukamu. Pamela
newabeera mu taxi kati sebo nga tolina zikuliza waka
ogamperezaayo. Pamela, you're very welcome. Karibu.
Thank you. Good day, everybody. My name is Nakityo Pamela. I'm glad to be here. Happy Independence celebrations. We are happy to celebrate this with you. And I had alternative deposits at Airtel Money. I'll just introduce Airtel Money. So there's a law that came in act, the National Payments Act, that saw a separation of Airtel Uganda and Airtel Money. So Airtel Uganda is licensed by the Uganda Communications Commission. That's for the business of data and voice. And then Airtel is a separate company, and it's called Airtel Mobile Commerce Uganda Limited, Airtel Money. So that is the money side, and we are regulated by the Bank of Uganda. So I just wanted to introduce that. And basically, we handle the money side of things. And we have 2 licenses. That is the Payment Service Provider license, and then also the Payment Service Operator license. So the reason why we are here is basically to promote the international money transfer business, which is a big business, and Ugandans living and working in the United States have been sending money back home. But from the past, it's been on sending money to a bank account. What we've seen is growth of remittances to a mobile wallet. That is, if a subscriber has a line, then you can be able to send money directly to an Airtel Money line. So we've seen growth, and year on year, we've seen growth of over 80% in remittances coming back home to an Airtel Money wallet. So we've been touching base with our receivers back home because, you know, we're telling them you can be able to receive money on your Airtel Money line from wherever around the world. What we've seen is also important to touch base with the actual senders within the diaspora, and that is why we are here. So we are here to connect with you and to see what more can we be able to do with you in terms of the payment space. So we have the international money transfer service, and we've been doing this for 4 years now, and we've seen growth in remittances. So what happens is we've partnered with a number of money transfer organizations to be able to create an enabling environment to send money home. So these include SendWave, Remitly, World Remit, Western Union, MoneyGram, TapTap, name it. So we've been able to do an integration with them to be able to create this enabling environment to send money home. So according to the BOU report, we've received money from abroad of about $1.1 billion, and we've seen this growing in terms of what we receive on the Airtel Money wallet. So it is instant, it is secure, it is fast, it's affordable, okay? Globally, that is around the world, okay? The US is one of our major corridors that we receive from for inbound remittances, and that is why we want to see how we can be able to grow with you in terms of being able to provide solutions for you to be able to make it easy to transfer money back home. What we've seen also is cross-border merchant payments is something that is big. What I've realized from the networks I've created since I arrived here, there are Ugandans working and living here that are actually using their Airtel lines to be able to transact business back home. So they load their wallet and they're able to send money home, like P2P transfers, with ease. So what we are launching also in the near future is cross-border merchant payments, where you'll be able to pay for any goods and service at any merchant location directly from your Airtel Money line. And how this will work is you walk into any merchant shop, and then you give them your Airtel line, which they will enter into their POS, and be able to initiate a USSD push to your number, and then you enter your PIN, and then you'll be able to effect a payment. Same way you do with Visa or MasterCard. So that is something that we are launching within the UAE this month, and then the next is the US, and then other markets as well. But it's a very, very useful use case to be able to use these services back home within the diaspora. Now, coming to the receivers back home. The people that you send money to, we've created an enabling environment where they can be able to receive money across many channels. So we have over 672 franchisee partners in Uganda. We have 2,491 Airtel Money branch shops. We have over 164,000 Airtel Money agents spread around the country. So someone can easily pick up their money. And the use cases we've seen, when you send the money, what do they actually use the money for? So top is they pay fees. So during this back to school period, we've seen remittances actually go up from the diaspora. They do P2P transactions, that is, you're paying someone else. We've seen person to business payments. If you may be sending money to the bank off your wallet, we've also seen that where someone is doing a wallet to bank transaction. We've seen paying of bills, electricity, water is also another use case that the receivers in Uganda actually use the money for. And then also we introduced a product called Super Saver, where they can be able to save using the platform. So we partnered with the KCB Bank to be able to provide this savings wallet to be able to save. And also for investments, they can also be able to fix for 3 months, 6 months, and then 12 months, just using their mobile wallet. So these enhancements that we've been able to provide to be able to have very useful use cases on what the money that you send back home, what does it actually do? The other thing is we're looking at partnerships as well. To grow partnerships, there are so many people that are coming up with solutions and apps within the payment space. And what we're saying is we're here to partner with you. I went to the Muslim symposium recently, and there were 2 ladies that had developed an app that helps people within the diaspora to purchase goods and services. Let's say if you want to buy probably merchandise within a Kasero market, you just go into their app, and then they're able to pick up these things and then deliver to your family and friends back home, which is a very useful use case for us. And what we do is we do integrations with them to be able to make the whole payments ecosystem complete. So if you're out there and you have any innovation and that you have, we can be able to discuss and see how we can do these integrations to be able to create an enabling environment for easy payments for our people within the diaspora. So this we do via Open API, which is basically a platform that we put in place. We call it a developer portal. But for everybody that has an innovation, we can be able to do these integrations with ease, and then you start doing your payments. In brief, basically, that is why we are here, and we are more than ready to connect with you. And I'm looking forward to having an interaction with each of you. Please feel free to contact us and get in touch with us for any partnership that you need from us, and we also need you. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Pamela. We'll get to ask you questions as we go on. I'm sure there... Do you have any question for Pamela? Maybe one for clarification, if any? Okay, great. Pamela, thank you very much. Pamela is around. Pamela is around, and if you have any other question to her, you can meet her. You know, she's going to be around. But thank you very much, Airtel Money, for coming up with this great innovation. That's alongside what we have been using. Ronnie, what you've been using applications, right? To send money. Yeah. They send Wave, you know, yeah. I've actually, then there is the other one which I used in the UK. World Remit, yes. And then there's that. So Airtel Money now is also here with this opportunity. All right, if you guys had coffee today, during the breakfast, that coffee was provided by Zikov. Yeah, it was amazing coffee, I should add. And it's purely Ugandan coffee. Purely. And it's on the different shelves of different supermarkets here. It's absolutely great coffee. And I was telling one of the founders, Risco Subuga, or Mamba, that why do we, okay, I don't want to mention the brand name, but why back home, why do we buy these, you know, different brands and we have such good coffee? And I was actually, first of all, thinking, I said, do you have this on the shelves in Kampala? He said, yes. So I told him I'm going to buy that coffee. Without any further ado, I want to invite Mr. Nsubuga, who is the executive director of Zikov, and he reminded me that it's Zigoti coffee. So for those of you who perhaps may not understand this, but we've all grown up hearing Zigoti coffee. You're very welcome, sir, to talk to us about the investment and how our coffee is getting over Europe and the United States, and therefore make a bid for investment. Karibu tena.
Thank you very much, moderator. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, we had the mayor here, but I think he left, but I'll still recognize him. Fellow Ugandans, happy independence. We are here and are happy to be here with my colleague Solomon. Solomon is a son of the late Kato, who used to